Welcome to Global Rhythms Live, World Music and Dance Digital Concert Series presented by Ensemble Topaz.
Hi everyone! It's with great joy that we welcome you to the 14th edition of Global Rhythms Live, World Music and Dance Digital Concert. I am Parmita Kaur, co-artistic director and choreographer of Ensemble Topaz, a Toronto-based integrated music and dance ensemble, and it's my great joy and honor, along with Mike Anklewicz, to present to you this week's edition of Global Rhythms Live. Each week, we feature different artists performing different genres of world music, dance, and performance traditions from around the world. Last week, we had the honor of presenting artists performing traditional and contemporary Zimbabwean music, traditional Georgian polyphony, and Rajasthani music and dance, as well as Iranian dance. This week, we have the honor of having with us a number of professional Uyghur dance artists from Kazakhstan, as well as Toronto, Canada, and an amazing concert host from Vancouver, Canada. Joining me in the studio is Mike Anklewicz, musician, composer, and music director for Ensemble Topaz, as well as several other music projects, and he is also the faculty member at Royal Conservatory of Music here in Toronto. He's also our managing technical director for Global Rhythms Live.
Thank you, Parmita, and thank you for joining us, and thank you again to our artists who we're going to be seeing today. To us, in many ways, this concert keeps alive our tradition as performing artists in these days when we don't have concerts in the same sense that we used to. We started the series not just to be able to give artists a new venue and a new outlet for their work, but also to share their stories. And you're going to see we have some amazing stories as well as some amazing artists today. You can go to the website at GoFundMe, the link that is just above Parmita's head. You can go up and see that link and visit that site to make a donation to help support the artists who are performing today. So your support can really help these artists keep going at a time like this. We'd also like to let you know that if you are joining us on Facebook and you're seeing captions at the bottom of your screen, you can turn them off. For languages other than English, it tries to interpret into English, so that's always a challenge, and so you can turn those off if you do not find them helpful for you.
Perfect. So once again, the captions are fabulous for accessibility, but once again, it sometimes has interesting words as it tries to interpret the sounds. And these captions are auto-generated by Facebook, so you do have the option of turning them off on your screen. So with this, we will move into our first exciting performance of today. Our first performer for this week's Global Rhythms Live is Gulmira Azaht. Gulmira is a proud Uyghur Canadian, professional Uyghur dancer, artist, and well-loved teacher. She completed her bachelor's degree in Uyghur folk dance at the Urumqi School of Art. In the past 20 years, she has excelled in her profession by researching the authentic Uyghur dance techniques and its joyful spirit directly from the people, and mastering them to perfection. Her hard work and passion in Uyghur dance, as well as elegant dance moves, has rewarded her with many domestic and international prizes, and most importantly, the respect and love from her people. Gulmira Azaht has been playing an especially important role in introducing Uyghur culture to Canadians through her beautiful dance and teachings to younger generation at the Uyghur Canadian Learning Center. She will first perform for us the traditional Uyghur bowl dance. The Uyghur bowl balancing dance goes back thousands of years of history. It requires unique and difficult dancing and technical skills, and therefore not many professionals have mastered this dance form. The elegant beauty of this dance form always leaves the audience amazed. Throughout Uyghur history, bowl balancing dance has been the highlight of many royal gatherings. Today, we are so happy and excited to be able to watch this dance form performed by Gulmira as part of this concert. Please enjoy. That was incredible. Thank you so much, Gulmira. So we are going to have a second dance by Gulmira, and this was actually the dance that made my jaw drop, the dance you are about to watch. So she is going to perform one of her signature dances, the Uyghur Card Tricks dance. The card trick Uyghur dance was created by Gulmira Azaht years ago and has been endorsed and loved by her audiences since. This dance combines Uyghur dance with card magic tricks. Please enjoy its amazing visual effects while experiencing the beautiful Uyghur dance and music. Please enjoy.
Wow, these amazing dances. That was the amazing Gulmira Azaht performing traditional Uyghur bull dance and the Uyghur card tricks dance. Thank you, Gulmira. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're enjoying our show today, please consider supporting the artist by making a donation at our GoFundMe page listed in the top right corner of your screen. This link is also available on our Facebook page and the event page for this 14th World Music and Dance Concert in the Global Rhythms Live series. Any amount is appreciated, and thank you so much for supporting artists at this time. And now we have our co-host, Shamshinur Abdureshit. Concert host, presenter, and impresario of global Uyghur cultural performance forms, Shamshinur Abdureshit moved to Canada as a skilled worker with her husband in 2006. She has since been based in Vancouver, BC, where they have their own business. During this quarantine season, Shamshinur started hosting an online concert using Instagram, with the inaugural edition held on May 10th, and she hosts one every 2 weeks. This concert series has now commemorated 8 concerts hosting Uyghur artists all over the world. We had the opportunity to connect with Shamshinur via Instagram, and over this past week we've had some wonderful conversations with her regarding Uyghur heritage performances and the importance of preserving and giving a wide visibility to Uyghur artists. By hosting online concerts, Shamshinur contributes her effort to making her community stay strong during Coronatine, the quarantine for coronavirus. Secondly, she wants to encourage Uyghur artists by giving them opportunities through which they can be well known by their people and get to know each other so that they can exchange their experiences and learn from each other, so that ultimately Uyghur immigrant communities can stay close to their culture. Her next concert is on August 1st at 11 a.m. Vancouver time. That's 2 p.m. Toronto time, New York time, and it features Shohret Tursun from Australia. We will now hear from Shamshinur a little bit in her own words about her online concert project and her vision for this.
Assalamu alaikum everyone, I'm Shamshinur Abdureshit and I'm Uyghur. I hope you can search Uyghur on Google. It's spelled Uyghur, so you can learn a lot about Uyghurs. And I also would love to say thank you for having me today. And I'm going to start my interview with a brief introduction of myself. I emigrated to Canada as a skilled worker with my husband in 2006. Since then, we have been living in Vancouver, BC. Currently, my husband and I have our own business. I started hosting online concerts on May 10 this year by inviting Uyghur artists from all over the world. And I host one every 2 weeks. By now, I have done 8 series of concerts. My next one going to be for Qurban Eid, and it's going to be on August 1st, Saturday, at 11 a.m. Vancouver time, with Shohret Tursun, who has majored in Uyghur 12 Muqam from Australia. For hosting online concerts like this, I have 2 reasons. Number 1, I want to contribute my effort to make my community stay strong during quarantine. Number 2, I want to put in my effort to encourage all Uyghur artists in different places by giving them an opportunity to be well known by their own people and also get to know each other so that they can exchange their experience and learn from each other. And meanwhile, as a result, all immigrant Uyghur communities can stay close to their culture and relieve stress, because our musical art can express meaning of life and hope for the future in a beautiful, joyful, and optimistic way. And I'm hoping the world will know our Uyghur culture broadly, so our musical art can be preserved and developed. In return, we can contribute our aesthetic value to the world. Now I'm going to talk a little bit about how I'm getting all these artists. Since having an immigrant life, I've been concerning about my culture a lot. So any information about it draws my attention. Also, with the help of my friends, community, and the social media, I'm luckily getting all these artists. When it comes to Rahmatzhan Ioldashev, who is one of the artists for today's concert, a short video clip posted on Instagram by his best friend Dilshad Tamadan caught my attention. In the video, 3 boys were dancing with a very energetic music. The dance is a combination of traditional Uyghur style with modern style. And I love the technique of the dance. So through Dilshad, I got Rahmatzhan easily, and I had an excellent concert with him. And also, I got to know Gulmira by today's concert, so I'm so happy to know her. Hopefully, we can keep in touch. Also, if I could get further opportunity like this, I would love to introduce some prominent Uyghur dancers, singers, and musicians from all over the world. Thanks for your attention.
Thank you so much, Shamshinur. And her project, the online concert project, is so inspirational. So we hope that everyone tunes in to her Instagram channel on August 1st for her next concert. So one of the amazing artists that she introduced us to is the wonderful Rahmatzhan Ioldashev, who is actually our next featured artist in today's concert. And we are so happy that she introduced us to his work. So now we will have him, and a few words about him. Rahmatzhan Ioldashev is popularly known among Uyghurs all over the world as a young Uyghur professional dancer skilled in both classical and modern Uyghur dances. Rahmatzhan was born and grew up in Kazakhstan. He went to the Art University in Urumqi, China in 2008 for a year to study Uyghur dance skills, and then studied dance at the choreographic school in Almaty, Kazakhstan from 2009 to 2012. He worked as an Uyghur professional dancer at the Kazakhstan National Uyghur Theater up to 2014. From 2014 to 2016, he worked as a professional Russian soldier-style dancer at the National Military Patriotic Ensemble. And then he studied to be a dance instructor at the Pedagogical University of Chelyabinsk State of Russia from 2016 to 2020. During this time, he was employed full-time at Uyghur Theater and part-time at National Military Patriotic Ensemble. Rahmatzhan has traveled to several countries to perform and has won the Turksoy Award in Turkey in 2018, and at the Book Festival of Creative Birds of Armed Forces, he won the On the Main Road Award at the Soldier Stage. So now we will have Rahmatzhan speaking a bit about himself in Uyghur language, and this was very kindly translated for us by Kabir Kurban, whose voice you will also hear in this translated version. We will also be separately posting the original video for his introduction, along with some wonderful photos of Rahmatzhan on our Facebook page. This will be followed by 2 of his wonderful dance performances videoed in his studio, especially for this concert. So here is the amazing Rahmatzhan Ioldashev.
Assalamu alaikum. I'm Rahmatzhan.
Assalamu alaikum everyone. My name is Rahmatzhan and I'm a professional dancer from Kazakhstan. In 2008, with my parents' help, I was able to spend a year at the Urumqi Art University and study Uyghur traditional dancing. Shortly after, I enrolled in the choreographic school in Almaty, Kazakhstan, where I was studying for 3 years. In 2012, I was able to work as a professional Uyghur dancer at the Kazakhstan National Uyghur Theater for 2 years. Subsequently, I worked at the National Military Patriotic Ensemble as a Russian soldier-style dancer for another 2 years. Then, I studied at the Pedagogical University of Russia to be a dance instructor from 2016 to 2020, and during all this time, I was able to keep my work. If you are curious to know how I started getting interested in Uyghur traditional dance, I have a story to share with you. I went to a Russian elementary school and a Russian high school. My mother was a dance instructor at the Uyghur elementary school near me, and one time her dance group needed a boy for their team, for their performance. So my mom let me join the group. It was a Uyghur traditional dance named Sunai. We received first place and got very structured feedback. It made me feel happy, and I never felt this way before, and I understood that that was the dance for me. At the time, I was 12, and ever since then, I fell in love with my Uyghur traditional dance. When I was at the choreographic school, they taught us a new modern style, a more contemporary take from what I knew before. I loved it so much that the choreo was taken in to my heart really quickly. And I learned that the idea of mixing these two styles, and I really wanted to do this before I got back to my job at the Uyghur Theater. I didn't get a chance to do so, but when my manager offered me the opportunity to dance on a love song with a girl, I made sure to do so. This gave me the opportunity to combine Uyghur traditional dance with a more contemporary twist, and the result was an amazing performance, and I succeeded. That is the one where I am dancing with Nazigum Qurbanov, and you could see this in my second video. In my first video, I performed Dulan Usuli with my group. It is a traditional Uyghur dance. It is a local dance for the natives in this local city of Dulan, one of the nicest cities I've ever seen. It's mesmerizing. This dance is very rich in history, and the original steps are still maintained. In the Uyghur musical art, we have a muqam, which is when you are being introduced widely into the world. And the muqam is the most valuable part of our culture. The song for the Dolan dance is the muqam, and I want you guys to enjoy that. Thank you so much for your time. And I hope that you enjoyed this video. Have a good one.
Diqqatingizga rahmat, ko'ringlar.
That was the amazing Rahmatzhan Ioldashev, who lives in Kazakhstan. We'd also like to extend our gratitude to Shamshinur Abdureshit for introducing us to this wonderful artist, and also to the wonderful Kabir Kurban for translating Rahmatzhan's introduction for us. We're going to be posting a separate video of Rahmatzhan himself speaking in the Uyghur language so that you can all hear that, and that will be up on our Facebook page and YouTube channel within the next day, probably by Monday.
Yeah. Sure.
All right. Once again, if you are enjoying this concert, please donate to our GoFundMe link to support the artists. The link is displayed on the screen as well as on our Facebook page and YouTube channel.
Perfect. And now for our final performer of today, Ensemble Topaz co-artistic director and also Global Rhythms Live co-host, Mike Anklewicz. Mike Anklewicz is a Toronto-based musician and educator specializing in saxophone, clarinet, and woodwinds. Having studied classical music on saxophone, he also performs jazz, klezmer, rock, R&B, Balkan, and Indian music, and is one of the few musicians in North America to play the algoza, a rare double flute from the Thar Desert between India and Pakistan. As music director for Ensemble Topaz, Mike has guided the band and created arrangements for music that has its source in Iran, Afghanistan, Pakistan, Tajikistan, and India, collaborating with many musicians from all over the world, and recording with the assistance of an Ontario Arts Council music recording grant in 2019. Mike Anklewicz also holds a PhD in ethnomusicology from York University and teaches saxophone at the Royal Conservatory of Music in Toronto. Today, we will hear two short performances from Mike. The first one is actually a live-in-concert archival footage from Pomegranate Garden, an evening of Central Asian dance and music, a show hosted 2 years ago at the Noor Cultural Centre here in Toronto. This video features Mike playing the saxophone while the band, consisting of Waris Fazilyar on the rubab, Haris Fazilyar on tabla, Yarek Dabrowski on the bass, and Graham Smith on the guitar, playing a fusion of Eastern and Western melodic improvisation. Please enjoy. was a piece from our show Pomegranate Garden, an evening of Central Asian music and dance hosted 2 years ago at the Noor Cultural Center. So, Mike, what can you tell us about this piece?
Well, it comes from a larger work that we had put together called Ioldashev that you and I premiered at the Dance Makers Studio down in the Distillery District at a wonderful program that combined the dance and the music and had two pieces, two compositions that at the time we were using recorded music for, and then we created a bridge between the two pieces of music with, I originally did it with some of the music production software that I use, filling in some of the gaps, and then when we have the live band to also, produce the same type of rhythmic structure that we had for the original song. And, we use that to provide the foundation for the soprano saxophone improvisation.
Fabulous. And I think this was also one of our first live in concert collaborations with our fantastic young next generation Afghan Canadian musicians, and as well as our other collaborators as well.
I also think it was the first sort of iteration of the Ensemble Topaz band in sort of the instrumentation that we went into the studio with last year with tabla, rabab, Graham Smith on bass, and Yaro Dabrowski on guitar. Of course, it was Oris Fazlyar, who we just saw last week or the week before.
Yes, who has also been in our concert series.
Yes,
Yeah.
so Oris, and then he was playing tabla, and his brother Waris was playing rabab.
Yes, fantastic. And we're so lucky to be able to collaborate with these phenomenal artists living here in Toronto. So, with that, we'll move on to Mike's next performance on a very different instrument, the traditional algoza from Rajasthan. So this next performance video, which you're about to see, was filmed just yesterday in Toronto, in the woods near, or in, where is this location, Mike?
Near Don Mills on the 401, the Don Valley.
The Don Valley.
And I think it's the Betty Sutherland Trail that runs through the Don Valley and into the forest there.
And it's beautiful, very peaceful place, and that is where Mike took his algoza and recorded this particular track. And so just a few words about the algoza. This is a double flute instrument from the Thar Desert region in Rajasthan and Punjab in India, as well as Thar Desert regions of Pakistan and the provinces of Sindh and Balochistan, also in Pakistan. Mike had the opportunity to study this instrument under Thagaram Peel and Shakur Khan in Rajasthan this past year under a grant from the Ontario Arts Council. And here is Mike playing one of the tunes he learned from Shakur Khan. Mike playing the algoza in Toronto. And what's interesting, just as I was watching this today, was that in the traditional setting, the algoza is a solo instrument. This is a folk instrument, but very often it's a quieter instrument. So it's played in the desert, sometimes to herd goats and camels, and you would hear the sounds of the natural landscape at that moment. And what was striking to me at this moment is that you could hear the sounds of the highway and the cars and trucks passing on the DBP. And to me, that was very, very striking about our natural landscape here in Toronto.
Yes, the natural landscape, even in the woods, you can't escape the traffic noise.
Fabulous. So, Mike, can you tell us a little bit about your Algoza journey?
Well, sure. I first, even learned about the Algoza, I think just before we went to India a couple of years ago, when Paramita was studying under a Chalmers Family Trust grant from the Ontario Arts Council to study Kalbelia dance in Rajasthan and in the Thar Desert region. And it was basically looking for something for me to learn while we were there. And when we were in Jaisalmer, we met Imam Dean in Jaisalmer, and then he introduced us, or helped us get introduced to Tagaram Peel, who was an Algoza master. And so I studied with him for that week that we were there. And then we, of course, brought an instrument back to Toronto, and I kept practicing. And then this past winter, we went for me to study, and we spent a week in Jodhpur and then 3 weeks in Jaisalmer, where I studied with Tagaram once again, studying and learning music as well. And then, of course, we found Shakur Khan in Jodhpur to study from as well, and he had such a really nice tune that he taught me that you just heard, and it was just such a different type of song than what I had learned, that it was really a breath of fresh air just to hear this lilting tune in 3 as opposed to everything else I had learned, which was just in 4.
Yeah, and it's a really interesting song. I mean, you heard right now the instrumental version, but the original version with lyrics in it is Berlo Maro Re. Berlo is the traditional it's a holder for pots when it's balanced on the head. And so this song is actually about the berlo that's used on the head, and about a girl carrying the pots on the head with the berlo. So it's a very interesting tune and very interesting song in general. So yeah, thank you for sharing that with us. And with that, thank you all for joining us today. We hope you enjoyed today's edition of Global Rhythms Live World Music and Dance Digital Concert, streamed from the living rooms and studios of our artists and Studio Topaz in our living room. Please support our artists by visiting the GoFundMe page and making a donation. In the coming weeks, we will continue to feature artists from across the world performing traditional and innovative artistic material. Please stay updated by following our Facebook page as well as Instagram at Ensemble Topaz, where you will also find the links to the wonderful artists who joined us today. We thank you for joining us in our journey today and hope that you will join us in the future. Thank you so much.